I knew Rachel. You don't believe it. I only knew her full name yesterday. Can't believe it. But I acquainted with her 6 years ago because I'm really my feeling really fulfilled to know her name is Nana. And that's her name for me because she so resembled with my mother. And my mother passed away long time ago. I know this family so much. I knew Angie when we were in college, 32 years ago when we were in Mountain View College. And then we only meet her again in Bangkok a few years back before I joined EIS, because I come over to Thailand many times to finish my master degree in AIU. But they always welcome me. And I can feel that they are not away from anyone else. They are my family in Thailand. That's why I always talk to Brother Ian. Whatever you need, please talk, please tell. I knew Nanai when 5-6 years ago, when I always take my jogging. I call it jogging, but only walk at EIS compound. I cannot stand without talking with her all the time I pass that house, because she always look at me and she always have a serious talk in life. I'm not so sure if she ever told Ian, her only son and her only child, about this. But I believe that this thing that she said, that she don't talk this too much to people, but it's very, very meaningful to her. She said, I gave everything to him in order for him to study in our institution. Your graduations at MBC, Mr. Ian, was a crown of happiness. After she got sick, in and out from the hospital, I'm not able to talk with her so many times. But I know the difficulties and the struggles of his family, because this Nanai in and out hospital, covering millions back until this moment. It's even the latest medical expense. Until her death, the figure is so scary. When I talk to Elder Ian, she also cannot understand how this happened. But things that I really admire with him, that his faith never lose in God. God calls us to help each other, and I believe it. And every one of us, there is time for us to meet like this. Therefore, I'm so happy to see all of you to hear this afternoon, to support this family, to support morally with prayers and everything that we can. And today I call and appeal to each one of you today. Aside from the prayer and the support and with words of encouragement and comfort, I plead you, let us together today, let's also support them with love offering.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for being here today to support my family as we remember the life of our beloved grandmother, Rachel Manzala Cordero. In her life, she found great comfort in her faith, and was one of her favorite passages was Psalms chapter 91, verses 1 to 2. I would like to share this text with you now. Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. These words meant so much to her. They spoke of safety, trust, and the unwavering presence of God. My grandmother often told me that during difficult times, she would find comfort in knowing that she was under God's protection. She lived her life with grace and strength, always reminding us that even in the darkest moments, we can find light and comfort in our faith. Today, her love and wisdom live on as a quiet refuge, where faith and cherished moments and memories bring comfort. Thank you.
Good afternoon and happy Sabbath to everyone, especially to the family of Brother Ian. I know Brother Ian back in MBC around 1990 or 1991 because he is a friend of my classmates in high school. But later on, we have connected because he is an Ilonggo and I'm an Ilonggo. And when I'm working in Manila, I received a call one day and he told me that he's looking for an airline ticket to go home to Bacolod because his tatay is getting ill during that time. And I helped him because I'm working in a travel agency during that time. And I provided a place for him to stay before he can fly home. And I know that Nanay is credential colporteur during that time. I can say that Nana is really a faithful servant of the Lord because she has nurtured her only son to become faithful servant of the Lord as well. While Brother Ian is working in one of the Chinese schools in Manila, we have lost contact. I moved to Bangkok. And later on, I received an email again. And it said, I'm coming over to Bangkok. Will you be free to pick me up from the airport? Okay, I said, yes. And we stayed again in one place. And there I know Nanay. That after few years, she's coming over as well because Brother Ian was already married. But before he got married, he is one of the most, he's the, what's the right term? One of the bachelors here in BIC during that time. And I just got married during that time and I told him, you know, life is really hard. So if you want to settle down, even if that lady did not say yes, you have to make sure that you are sure that you are going to marry her. And she said, how come? I know, I told him, you have a lot of options. But I told him, if you really want to marry that girl, make known also that she has a lot of options as well. So what you have to do is you visit her family back home and tell her parents that you are serious about getting married to that lady, to that woman. And I'm happy that he made that decision. And he decided to marry one of my friends as well, Angie. So when Nanay came over to Thailand, I was invited by Brother Ian also to visit some places around Thailand together with them as family. And there I knew Nanay, and later on I realized that she's getting sick. So I brought my family over, we visit her sometimes. And later on, I noticed that she was already bedridden. And sometimes, Brother Ian and Sister Angie is so busy, I have the permission to visit Nanay, even if she's alone. So I just sneak into their house there without them. So sometimes I catch up Nanay reading her Bible alone, and I talk to her in our dialect, and we enjoy that moment together. So when they arrive home, later on I will say that, oh, I have to go also, it's quite late. So that's few moments that I did that. And then later on I heard that Nanay is already been in the hospital for a while. And my last visit was last Saturday evening in BAH. What I can say is her life is a life well lived by someone who is waiting for the Lord to come, for Jesus Christ to come. And I wish that life has become a testament also for us, especially young people, that the way we live our life, it should be a life that someone wants to emulate when they become old. And that's a challenge for us. But I'm so happy that I'm one of those people who was able to witness her life and how she treated the family. The children loved her, and the children really gave respect to her. And I told the children one time, you are so precious and you are so privileged to live here away from the Philippines, but you are living with your grandma. Because not too many children are enjoying that kind of privilege. Living away from Philippines but living with your grandma with you is a jewel. So I'm so happy that I was able to know Nanay and Brother Ian and his family together. And I can proclaim that, self-proclaim that I'm a brother or real brother of Brother Ian from another mother. Because he is the only son, and I'm the only son also in my family. I'm looking also for someone who I can relate to. I know the feeling. I have a sister, but I have no brother. So he's one of my brothers actually. Praise God, and well, God has His own timing. Although we want Nanay to live longer, but God gives life, and He is the only one who can take our life back. And it's time for Nanay to rest, and I know that we are not far from home. We will see her once again soon. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. We have two more tributes. Now I call Helen Barolo, and after this we call Brother Glenn, and then we'll be listening words from Brother Ian.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's very difficult for me to speak because just a month ago, I lost my best friend. I lost a sister-in-law and another close friend, and again today, Nanay. I met Nanay, maybe that was 2012, when I joined Sir Ian's family because I was the nanny of Alice when she was 9 months old. Yeah, it's a very long time ago. So from then on, we became friends with Nanay because we speak the same dialect, because we are from Romblon, and personally, her only brother is also a friend in the church in Romblon. So we became close with Nanay, and from time to time, we met here in the church. He was very happy and always looking for me when she go to church here. So, sorry, I'm very emotional because I still can remember my friend who also is a member of this church. She passed away last month ago. So, in behalf of the Sikh group, we extend our condolences to Sir Ian and Ma'am Angie and the kids. And that's all. And same case with the best friend. I'm Sir Ian's sister from another mother.
Sahabat, and good afternoon everyone. So, I don't know how to say this. I lost my mom year 2000, and then year 2017 I lost my mother-in-law, and 14 years ago we know Nanay, and every time we had a problem, we shared to her, and she's a good mother. I consider Nanay as my third mother. We are very close to this family because Agaw Anji, Agaw means cousin, is my third degree cousin. Agaw Anji's father is very close to my late mother. And Nanay is a workaholic mother. When we visited Nanay in Soineng Ramkhamhaeng, the stay before, she always busy in the kitchen, cooking and giving us food. Everyone who will visit her house, Nanay will offer food, or else she cannot go out from the house. She will offer food and give anyone, and especially to us. And then when Agaw Ian, Sir Ian, came to EIS, and then we told the family that you have to request if you could have a house, you could stay in the mission compound. And praise God, there's a available house, and we were able to stay in the mission compound. Much more, this family is very, very close to us. Ago Ian is like my brother to me. Whenever we have nothing, we have no, what we call this, oil, we go to their place, and Nanay will offer, oh, we have oil. So much more closer when our house is nearby to each other. We live in house number 11, Nanay is number 12. So when Nanay got sick, I had the opportunity, me and my wife, take care of Nanay and advising Nanay not to eat this, not to drink this. But somehow, you know, along those times, Nanay cannot stand, taking all those not good for her. And we always advise, Nanay, we love to see you. If you can come along with us to Malaysia, Nanay, please stay healthy and strong. But somehow along the years go by, Nanay got sick and her health deteriorated. She passed away last Wednesday. Nanay is very dear to our hearts, and we would like to see Nanay during the resurrection time. And we don't have any Nanay anymore. Now we want Nanay to see her in the resurrection morning, so that we will all be happy. We just remembered her kindness, her thoughts, and her prayers. And one thing that I cannot forget for Nanay is he told me, don't ever go to sleep without any prayer. So Nanay is a very prayerful woman, and we could see how Mr. Ian and the family also are very prayerful family. So we admire them so much for copying what Nanay showed to them, a prayerful family. And let's all be prayerful as well, because it will help us in our Christian growth every day. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Go Ian, Ace, and Alice. We love you. We're still here. We're just a neighbor. Anything, just call us. Thank you very much, and happy Sabbath.
It's 4:20. I don't want to speak very long, but there are many things that are to be said. I have not prepared anything actually, so this is all raw and random. I just pray that you will be able to understand the meaning of what I'm going to share with you, because things have been very difficult in the last 57 days. I would like to share about my mom's life, but I think I would reserve some of that on Sunday. I will just share with you what has come to my mind while we have started our memorial service for her. Before I begin, I would really want to say thank you first, because I do not want to forget all of them. I may not be able to mention all of your names, but I still have a chance on Sunday to make sure that I don't miss out on anyone. First and foremost, I would like to thank our BIC Church pastor and the BIC elders and the board, Elder Jolly, for the initiative to come up with a memorial service for my mom. I truly appreciate that very, very much. The music, the participants, the speaker, Ajahn, the translator, have spoken so deeply to me to understand where we are at the moment and how we should move forward, because life must go on. Thank you for the powerful messages through the songs, through your prayers, and overall for the support that my family has received from you. I would like to mention also, I'd like to thank our PA guys at the back, under Sir Carlo, our decoration team, Ma'am Dali, Konit Nara. You did a really great job today. I wasn't expecting that, you would prepare this framed picture of my mom, and how you place it right in front of me, and the whole time the program was going on, I could not help but look at her face. It's almost a life-size portrait of her face, and when I look into her eyes, as if those eyes were speaking to me, saying, "You should stop crying, I'm already okay." So I really thank you very much. I've mentioned about the church, I've mentioned about our family members, EIS, the school administrators who are here, our talent advocates, mission representatives. I really, really appreciate you very much for all of these years. That you have been very, very understanding. I know it's not a good example. I know it's not a good example to be stepping out of the campus. During working time. But you never called my attention. You chose probably to close your eyes. But I really felt uncomfortable, because I know there were people who could see that I would step out of the campus. I would imagine myself like a mother bird going back to the nest to check on what's going on. So thank you very much, Ajahn. That is truly, truly appreciated. Thank you for choosing to understand my situation. As for EIS, the choir, the songs were really wonderful. It's different when you are the one receiving the song that is being sung. And it's also different when you are the one singing. I think today the songs were quite meaningful to me, especially. One thing I learned, that God is near. And even in the valley, God is there. The 57 days that my mom was in the hospital, the whole period was very stressful. I would go to the hospital every day after work to check on her, how she was doing. The first 2 weeks, I was okay because I know that pneumonia is difficult to cure, especially with the elderly. And by the way, if you want to know more about pneumonia, I can give you a crash course after going through all of these things. First 2 weeks, I thought it's normal for a person to stay in the hospital with all the antibiotics. I was okay. At first, I was worried there was no one to take care of my mom because I was going to the retreat finally after what? 1 or 2 years? But mom was in the hospital, so I thought maybe that was meant to be. So I was really worried. I would go to the retreat and was thinking about who would take care of mom while I was away. But she was in the hospital, so maybe it was God's will. Came the 3rd week. This is where I would say communication is very important in all aspects of life. Not just the good communication, but also the bad, but make it balanced. So basically on the 3rd week, I thought my mom was already going home because I was told that when the fever was gone, she could be discharged of the hospital. On the way to the retreat, in the bus, I received a call. It was an English-speaking nurse, and I was told that they needed to do a pleural tap. Oh, that's a jargon, by the way. Dr. Brian, there is no time to explain that now, but it's like to drain a fluid. Okay, they will use, it's how should I say, it's a minor procedure. I did not see that, but they could do it on the bedside, no need to take the patient somewhere else in the ICU or what, but they could do it by the bedside. It's both therapeutic, I think, and diagnostic, meaning they will use it to find out what's in the fluid, okay, for testing, and therapeutic in a sense because it would relieve my mom of the difficulty of breathing because of the fluid in the lungs, okay? So I was told that there was that procedure that was going to be done. And of course, I couldn't say no because it meant that it was needed. I couldn't even say or ask the question, was it elective or necessary? Elective meaning it's optional, okay? Like every time there was a call, something was going to happen and something needed to be done. Somehow I developed a trauma because I know that when the phone rings, especially, hello, this is Mission Hospital, I knew something was wrong. Okay, so I said yes, and then the following day I received a call again from the English-speaking nurse, and I was told that the pleural effusion in your mom's lungs had worsened, meaning that the fluid in her lungs got worse, and so they needed to... Oh, prior to that, they said they needed to do a CT scan. Oh. So at first I thought she was already going home. But they needed to do a CT scan. What for? They were suspecting that my mom was having something else. And so they discovered through the CT scan that she had pulmonary embolism. If I remember this right, this would mean that there was a blood clot. Okay, meaning she had a clotting problem in her blood, and it would be life-threatening. Okay, pulmonary embolism. And then the following day, I was told that the fluid again worsened after the pleural tap, and so they needed to insert a tube. I think as big as my pinky finger. Okay. They would insert that into my mom's left side, okay, to drain the fluid because she was showing dyspnea or difficulty of breathing. That was the only way it seems. So again, I had to agree to it. When was that done? Friday afternoon on our way back from the retreat. Okay, so we had so much fun in the retreat, that's for sure. But in between the fun moments, there would be a call from the hospital. Alright, so I said, okay, so let's do it. It seemed that I didn't have any choice, but every time there was that call, I could only say yes, and there was nothing else to do except to agree, because that was necessary. So I mentioned that in this process of my mom's confinement this time, which was very difficult, communication is important in all aspects of life, meaning that we balance the communication with the good and the bad. How I wish that I would also receive some updates on the days that my mom was doing well. Okay, so next, come the ICD, it's ICD, intercostal drain. They put the tube into her lungs to drain the fluid, and the fluid was bloody. So they suspected something else was going on. They sent the fluid to the lab for testing, and it came out that they were suspecting there was some sort of malignancy because the pleural effusion contained blood. Okay, so malignancy meaning it was cancerous. The statement that we received was metastatic adenocarcinoma could not be excluded. Now, if you are reading that correctly, if I was understanding that correctly, there is a suspicion that my mom had a malignancy, but with that statement, it would also mean that it was a suspicion because it said metastatic adenocarcinoma could not be excluded. Okay, meaning it could be that that is the reason why she has bloody pleural effusion, or it could be not, because I think it was not very definite. Okay, and then another result came back to tell that there wasn't any malignancy except for acute inflammatory condition, something like that. So I was 50-50, meaning, of course, I would accept the first one. We cannot always say that, let's say, because the second one was sort of negative, there was no likelihood that it could be positive too, because the first result said it could be positive. So we cannot always, let's say, I couldn't argue with the doctor to say that it was negative because the first one was in fact suggestive that it was positive for malignancy. Okay, so my mom had to stay longer in the hospital, and eventually I was told that I had to stand in, at the end, okay, I had to stand and make a decision of whether to do something, this or that, and both of them are both lethal or dangerous for my mom. Meaning, remember, she had pleural effusion, there's pulmonary embolism, plus the bleeding because of the bloody pleural effusion. If they were going to give her blood thinners to address the blood clotting issue or the pulmonary embolism, there was also that risk of bleeding. If they would not give her the blood thinner because of the bleeding issue, she might die of something else, the pulmonary embolism. So either way was not going to be okay. And I told them that I think at this point, seeing how my mom suffered already for how many weeks and days, all the needles, all the pricks, all the procedures, x-rays, this and that, I told the doctor, I think I would not be willing to put her through more suffering by going through aggressive treatment. You know what cancer is like, right? So we would go into supportive care, meaning symptomatic care. If she would have fever, then give fever medication. Alright, to make the long story short, it took them a while to be able to identify what was wrong with my mom. And that's the reason why she had to stay in the hospital for that long. Now, since that supportive care time, we were told that she might only have 1 or 2 weeks. And this is speaking with the attending physician. And not only the attending physician, I also spoke with somebody else who gave a similar feedback. Okay, so I learned also to consult other people, yeah, for their opinion. So when I was told that my mom only had 2 weeks to live, of course, we had to start planning. But that was during the Songkran break. The 2 weeks during the Songkran break. We already started planning for, like this. But what could we do? People were out on a holiday. It was difficult to contact, people. But at least somehow, we were able to prepare something. And that was to buy her, her dress. At least we were able to do that. Okay, so the 2 weeks went past again. And then how come the last Sabbath, our friends from BIC, they were there. They sang songs to my mom. They saw how she was active. And I was also happy. And to be honest with you, after the fluid was drained out of her body, just I think a week later, the fluid came back. So it would be a cycle. If I would agree again to the tube, they would be able to drain it, but there is no guarantee that the fluid wouldn't come back again. It would be a cycle, meaning longer stay in the hospital, and the meter was running. So I, of course, did not agree to that as well. They did not offer me the tube though, but if they did, I would still say no. Anyways, surprisingly, sometime during the second week, we saw that there was some kind of improvement in her pleural effusion. The massive pleural effusion that came back showed some decreasing, a slight decrease in the pleural effusion. And the last image that I saw, I think it was less than before. And I think that's a really good progress. But the problem that surfaced at that point was the congestion in her heart. So it's a congestive heart failure case, and the oxygen was dropping slowly. So basically, in the first 2 weeks, during the Songkran break, we were thinking about what to do for the funeral. I already started contacting people. Actually, I told my relatives already that this was going on, and I mentioned to them my plans. I wanted to consult with them because since I'm the only child, I did not want to carry the burden of making the major difficult decisions about my mom's future. So I wanted to make sure that we were kind of in agreement on what I would do. They would give me my feedback, but in the end, since I'm the child, they would give me the privilege to make my own decision, which I was happy to do eventually because they gave me their feedback. So that was, we decided we will go for supportive care and this and that. Then the 2 weeks just went by quickly. I wished at one point that Songkran would be 1 month, because that would mean we could spend longer time in the hospital with mom. Now, when the 2 weeks went past, we couldn't stay in the hospital anymore. Then we started planning for nursing home care. So we were kind of shifting from one plan to the other. we were already planning to place her somewhere in Ramanine. I already have a contact of that person, who the manager, to tell me where to go and what to do. Certain things. There's no time for that because our time is running. But I want to tell you that the weeks and the months that my mom was in hospital was very stressful for us, and we really want to thank everyone for showing us your understanding and support. 3 more things that I would like to mention. During the time that my mom was so sick at home, of course, life was not always okay. You would come home from work and you were tired, and you still have a patient to take care of, mostly by yourself because the kids are studying, Angie is busy with her own stuff. So I had to be a caregiver as well in the house. I would lift her to the commode chair to release her, defecate. And later on it was too painful for her because she got so thin because of lack of mobility. The muscles will thin out, okay? Aside from other things. And so it would become so painful to sit there for a long time. At least I would carry her 6 times in a day, meaning before breakfast, after breakfast, back to bed, lunch, dinner, and if she would defecate, plus 2, because I would place her to sit there and then clean her up and then put her back on bed. I was going to say that life was not always okay. And for sure there were times that she felt I was tired. And I remember what she told me. She tried to convince me that it's not going to be long. If I could capture it correctly, I might say that she would want to go, so I would be free. Even in sickness, my mom taught me a very important lesson. My mom was 82 years old by the date, but this might not be accurate because the brother is already 91 and she's supposed to be like 2 years younger than my uncle. And at the time that they were born, the birth records were destroyed by fire. So we couldn't get the birth certificate, but we were able to just hunch the year anyway, so that's a different story. Even in sickness, my mom taught me a very important lesson. She told me to take care of myself because I might not last the length of time that she has lived. Meaning, watch your temper, watch your lifestyle, watch yourself. And if there were times that I was impatient, she would just say what is happening or what was happening to me. I don't want to stay up here long because there would still be other parts and there would still be another time on Sunday. But I would like to believe that my mom's passing would be God's protection for her and for me. Protection for her because maybe God doesn't want her to go through the persecution, but that is what I would have to face. Protection for me because if I would continue in this situation, my health may suffer and I still have 2 children to take care of and a wife. This whole process has taught me many things. No one prepares for death. Even if I thought that I was ready when it happened, I felt I still wasn't ready. So I would really want to thank all of you for understanding us, for supporting us, for the times that we couldn't be here in church because we were too tired to come here. The times that you wanted to visit my mom at home, I remember Ma'am Dali, you sent me a message in line if the teenage could go for a visit. I don't remember responding to you because I did not know what to say. But I want to say now, it's because our living room has been a bedroom of my mom, and we thought we were not ready to accommodate visitors. And now that it has happened, my family has to move on, and I would like to thank all of you, my relatives. They are aware of our situation. They have been very helpful. They have been supporting us all the way. My relatives, Manzala side, and my relatives Cordero side, they are not here, but they have been a really strong support for us as well. In their absence, I have a family in BIC. I have a family in EIS. I have a family in each and every one of you. My mom, yeah, that's true. Brother Nep. I remember whenever just give me a few more minutes. I took care of my mom for almost 3 years. The 4th year will be in January of 2026. But every time I felt tired and discouraged and frustrated, I would always remember the many years that she had suffered, so I could be who I am today. So I agree with you, Brother Nep. She had a piece of land she inherited from her family, and her brother is really, really, really kind, because sometimes siblings would gain ownership of everything. But my mom's brother gave her her portion, and she sold her piece of land so that I could finish my college degree. I did not have to work like a working student. My mom used to be a working student. She worked in the laundry, she worked in the cafeteria. I knew all of her friends. Those of you who are from MBC, Mrs. Aparacion Ibanez, Dr. Nelson Madriaga, even Pastor Howard Faigao was, because mom was a colporteur, they would go as literature evangelist. One time I actually asked her, Mom, if you worked harder, if you persevered, and you finished your college degree, look at Pastor Howard Faigao. She retired as a worker in the General Conference. I was just telling her that your friends were already working in the college, but I did not hear my mom say anything or complain. She was very, very patient. She was very understanding. I did not hear my mom complain about her life. And if Brother Glenn said that it was Ate Helen who said that my mom would offer her food. One thing that I learned about my mom, and this is, my family could attest to that today. The most important, my mom was an early riser, and I am too. And I would always tell my wife, the first thing my mom would think in the morning is what to feed the family. And that's the reason why she would wake up early. I learned many things from my mom. There are many things to tell, but there is no more time. We have accepted what happened to mom, that it's time for her to rest. I was there at the time when she lost her, when she gave, how should I say that? When she not really expired, but very, how should I say? When she blew her last breath, I knew that she could hear me. Because the nurse was still suctioning her to remove her secretion. Her oxygen concentration was going down dangerously. I remember below 88 would be a dangerous oxygen level. She was at 83 and it was not going up. So I knew time was coming very soon. April 6, we thought that was the time. That was the time. Because the nurse and the doctor again told me that my mom was already dying. But I told the Lord, Lord, I was not ready yet. And somehow, the Lord gave us another 2 weeks during the Songkran break to be with her. So I was ready, she was ready. I knew she was ready because for the many years that she was lying in bed, what would she do? To reflect on her life. And I would ask her, Mom, have you prayed? And she said, yes. Did you surrender yourself to the Lord? And she would say, yes. And the last time I spoke with her, I told her, Mom, it's okay because we will be fine. And I told her we would go home together and I would place you in the tomb where my father's remains are entombed. I did not tell her that I would cremate her because that might disappoint her, but I just told her we would go home together and I would place her beside my dad. So thank you very much. I think since I have no outline, I'm going everywhere, but I have to stop now. Thank you very much. My family is very grateful for your support and understanding. May the Lord bless us all today.